Hello and welcome to Have You Heard This? I'm your host, Mark Hatch. And before we go any further, I want to call your attention to something new here. I had gotten several requests from people to create a playlist of just the songs, all the songs that have been featured in all the individual episodes. So I have finally done that, and if you're interested in accessing that or checking it out, if you look under the individual episodes, there's a little tab that says More. It takes you to the comments, and right there at the top is the link to this new playlist of all the songs. So check that out. And moving forward, as you know, this podcast features songs that haven't gotten as much attention as they deserve or maybe have gotten overlooked. So as we like to say here, now that you're here, let's get right into it. Our first pick this episode is a great duet between alto saxophonist Karolina Strausmeyer and pianist Billy Test, who are both members of the great WDR big band in Cologne, Germany. I've talked about them several times here before. Just a superb jazz orchestra, probably one of the 2 or 3 best in the world. And this is from a video concert that they did. The WDR band does these to feature individual members, and that's what this is from. It's an original composition by Karolina called Quiet Fortitude, and it was recorded in 2020. So let's give a listen to that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about her kind of interesting story after the track. So here is Quiet Fortitude. Just outstanding and gorgeous playing by both of them on that track. Karolina Strausmeyer on alto saxophone and Billy Test on piano. Karolina Strausmeyer, as I mentioned, is kind of an interesting story. She grew up in a small town in the mountains in Austria and somehow went from that after hearing jazz and catching her ear to figuring out how to learn how to do that, do the work to do it, and end up being a world-class player, jazz player in New York for several years, immigrating there, and then coming back to Cologne to be a member of the WDR band. That is quite an accomplishment coming out of a small mountain town in Austria, but somehow she, where there's a will, there's a way. Somehow she did that, and she is truly a great player and has gotten quite a bit of notoriety from the WDR broadcast, and well-deserved. And Billy Test is an American who lives in Cologne and is a member of the WDR band and is also a superb player. I'd like to maybe feature him at some point here. But hope you enjoyed that absolutely gorgeous duet and a great tune by her. Quiet Fortitude, Karolina Strausmeyer and Billy Test. So for our second pick, we are going to feature the great vocalist Becca Stevens, and we had her on a previous episode when she was the vocalist on Billy Child's record, A Salute to Laura Nyro. I think that was episode 48, but this is from one of her own records, and this record came out in 2017, and it's called Regina, which is the name that means queen. And all the songs on this record have something to do with queens going back in history. Some of the stuff on there is Elizabethan in character. Very interesting and wonderful record. So we're going to hear one side of her. She covers so much territory, she's hard to categorize. This is more of a pop thing. Well, you'll see. It's called Lean On, and it's from her record Regina from 2017. And we'll talk a little bit more about it after the track. Here's Becca Stevens.
When your prayer to the heavens hears no answer, and your head sick and writhing like a broken dancer, grab a hold of, I can hold us, don't stay lonely, bring it to me. Now you've fallen in the black well, seizing from treading water. Grab a hold of love. I can hold us till the road dries. Hold on tight now. If you trip, lean on. Little love you can lean on. If you're tripping, lean on. I'm a lover you can lean on. If you trip, lean on. Little love you can lean on. If you're tripping, lean on. I'm a lover you can lean on. Are you scared for tomorrow? Can we make it? Here's a ring for your finger. If you take it, grab a hold, love. I can hold us through the undertow. Don't let go now. If you trip, lean on. Little love you can lean on. If you're tripping, lean on. I'm a lover you can lean on. If you trip, lean on. Little love you can lean on. If you're tripping, lean on. I'm a lover you can lean on. If you trip, lean on. Little love you can lean on. If you're tripping, lean on. I'm a lover you can lean on. Lean on our love. Lean on our love. Lean on our love. Lean on our love. Lean on
That was Becca Stevens, Lean On. And that featured Becca Stevens on lead vocals and also on guitar. She's an accomplished guitarist as well as an incredible singer. And also Jordan Perlson on drums, Ollie Rockberger on piano, and Chris Tordini on bass. Becca Stevens majored in classical guitar in college. Singing she was also doing, but she majored in guitar, so she brings that to the table in addition to her great singing abilities. She's done a lot of interesting stuff in the last few years. She's often collaborated with Jacob Collier and with David Crosby and with Snarky Puppy, as well as doing her own records. So a very interesting artist. As I said, we just heard one little corner of the world that she inhabits as far as styles and genres, but all very unique. So look into Becca Stevens and you'll find some really interesting stuff. So that was from her record Regina 2017, and we heard Lean On. That's it for this time, but there'll be much more coming in future episodes. Different genres, styles, artists, so you're bound to find something that you like. So please pass the word, hit the subscribe button, and check back with us often. Until then, this is your host, Mark Hatch, saying thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Have You Heard This?